Hi there, I'm Cindy Linden, and this is the Cook Along Podcast. I am going to do something a little crazy today. I've never done this before, and I may regret it partway through, but I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try to cook an entire meal with you, and here's the caveat to that. I am going to separate it into different podcasts. So in order for you to make the entire meal with me, you're going to have to look for the separate pieces and listen to those individually, because I don't want to overwhelm you with a podcast that's way too long. So here is what the meal is going to consist of. We're going to do an oven-roasted chicken shawarma recipe from the New York Times. We're going to do a naan, that's N-A-A-N, that's a kind of flatbread that I think comes from America's Test Kitchen, although it came out of a magazine and I took a photo of it. Remember the days when you had to sneak out of the doctor's office with the page you torn out of the magazine? You don't have to do that anymore, so I have a photo of it here. And I picked this one in particular because most of the recipes that I have, or even when I went searching online, they all use yeast and they have rising times, and I didn't want to mess with any of that. So I'm going to use this one, which does not have a rising time. It has a sort of short resting time, but it doesn't use yeast. So that's the main dish and the bread. I'm going to make a smashed cucumber salad to go with it. That is just extraordinary, really nice, and has only like four ingredients, and they're super simple. And then, if I have time and still any energy left, I'm also going to make some hummus. Those will all be found on your podcast feed or on the cookalongpodcast.com website. When I have finished them all, you'll find this same introduction at the beginning of all of those recipes. This is a cucumber salad that makes a lovely accompaniment to the oven-roasted chicken shawarma and the naan and the hummus. It all goes well together. But if you're just looking for a nice, light, very flavorful, quick salad, this is a great thing to use. It just comes together so fast, and it allows for all kinds of imperfections. And so this is something I don't have amounts for, all right? So I'm just going to read you the ingredients and tell you what you need in terms of equipment. You need some Persian cucumbers. I get mine at Trader Joe's. I have also found them at New Seasons. They sometimes show up in your regular supermarket. They're like seedless and small, and sometimes they're called sweet. I don't know about that. But I really am not a big fan of cucumbers, and I like these a lot. And one caveat, you cannot buy these cucumbers for this salad very far ahead of time. They have a really, really bad shelf life, and they only last a few days before they are icky. However, if you're using them in this salad, it doesn't matter, because we're going to smash them up. I have a package here that has, it looks like it has 5. I thought it only had 4, but it looks like it has 5. So you need Persian cucumbers, and you can choose how many. It depends on whether you're serving 2 people or 5 people or whatever. And leftovers are not a bad thing, so maybe more is better than too few. You need a lot of salt and some fresh dill, quite a lot of it, some olive oil, and a lemon, and some dried cranberries. And then I'm going to add some feta to this. It's not something you have to do. It's quite good without that. But I want that today because I'm serving it with the chicken shawarma, and I kind of think that maybe this salad's going to end up inside of the naan, like rolled up around both the shawarma and the cucumber mix. So because of that, I want the feta in there. I'm not sure about the cranberries for that, but I think it isn't a terrible thing, and we're just going to try it. The equipment that you need is a bowl to put the salad in, a knife to chop the dill with, and the cranberries with, and a rolling pin. Now, I am just now chopping off the ends of my cucumbers, which is a do-ahead. And actually, I need to wash these as well. I'm going to finish chopping off the little ends. You don't have to do this, but mine have stems to them. So I am cutting those off, and I'm going to wash them real quickly. Because we eat the whole thing, we're not peeling anything off. So you want to be sure that you've given them a wash on the outside. And then you get to take out some aggressions. One cucumber at a time. You set your cucumber on your cutting board, and you take your rolling pin and you smash that thing. You just whack it a few times. I have a really heavy rolling pin here. It's a marble one, and so it really doesn't take a lot. If you have a wooden rolling pin, you may feel that you want to whack it more times than I do, but this is a way to use the Persian cucumbers when they don't look so pretty anymore. They're not completely slimed, but they're starting to shrivel up a little bit. You just smash them and can use them in this salad. It's really forgiving because you have to make a mess of them anyway. I'm going to continue to get all 5 of them smashed. Well, last time I did this, I had only a wooden rolling pin. This marble one makes very short work of this. Oh, yeah. Okay, once they're smashed, you can rinse off your rolling pin. We won't be using that again. Now you need a sharp knife. I like to use a big chef's knife for this, and we're going to slice it. The reason we smashed it before slicing it is because with all those rough edges, that's a very light dressing we're going to put on it, and those rough edges will just soak up the yummy things we're going to put on there. Once you get them sliced up, you got these irregular chunks with all these irregular shaped edges. Put those all into the bowl that you're going to use to serve them. There we go. Now, you need to chop up your dill. I have a package here that is 0.75 of an ounce, 3/4 of an ounce, 21 grams. And it's probably enough, but it does take quite a lot. So we need to get the dill. I'm picking off the sprigs from the really thick stems. I don't know why they gave me all these thick stems, because all it is a waste of, well, there you go, waste of space in the package, so they don't have to put as much dill in, because I don't know that anything uses the stems of a dill plant. Anyway, I'll let it go. I got these from Trader Joe's as well. I think the last package I got was from a Kroger store, and it did not have quite this much stem on it. But there's going to be plenty of dill either way. I'm just picking off all the parts that have little dill leaves on them, so that I have only left the sticks, which I am going to discard into my compost. And now that you have that on your cutting board, you want to chop it up. And I would say chop it fairly fine. It is part of your dressing. It's not actually part of the vegetable concept. That's just cucumbers. Once your dill's all chopped up, go back to the bowl of cucumbers you have, because we're going to add some salt to that. And you can use table salt, you can use sea salt, kosher salt, whatever. Sprinkle it really, what do I want to say, assertively. You want plenty of salt in there. And then you're going to get in there with your hands and just mix the salt with the cucumbers. You want to do that until the salt is dissolved. I have found this to be much easier, actually, when I have used grinding salt, because the pieces are bigger. Sea salt that's made for grinding. This is a little hard to tell whether it is dissolved or not, because I'm using a fine sea salt. But just try to make sure that all of the salt gets melted by the liquid that's around the cucumbers. And then when you think you probably have enough salt, pull out a finger, just taste a finger, and see if that's salty enough. I think I need just a touch more salt. So I'm going to wash that off. I'm going to add just a touch more salt and mix it some more. Just until you can't feel any grains of salt. Salt melts pretty quickly. Now, add your dill. Just put all that dill in there. Yes, it's a lot, but it's okay. It's really nice in this salad. And whether you used 5 small cucumbers or 10 small cucumbers, the same amount of dill is just fine. It just stretches further if you have more cucumbers. And either way, you just want to make sure there's enough to really see as well as taste, because that's one of the main flavors here in this salad. And then we are going to add some lemon juice from a fresh lemon and some lemon zest. And I have those all ready to go because I was making a recipe earlier. What did I do that needed lemon? It was something to go, oh, I know, it was the hummus I was making earlier. So I just kept going. I had a half a lemon left, and I zested it using what I think is one of the best kitchen tools that I own, which is a microplane. That's the company name, zester. It's this long kind of wand-shaped thing that just easily gets the zest off of a citrus. Here I am again, recommending a product that I am not getting paid to recommend, but they're wonderful. They're great for grating Parmesan and other cheeses, Gruyere and whatever, and they're just super on citrus. So I do recommend it. Anyway, I did that a while ago, and then I juiced the lemon half into a bowl and added the lemon zest to it. And I'm just now drizzling that over the top of my cucumber salad. All right, now we want to add some dried cranberries. I keep my dried cranberries in the freezer because I buy them at Costco in those humongous bags, and there's no way. I just don't like keeping them in the cabinet. Almost everything I buy at Costco is so big it has to go in my freezer. So I'm just going to put a handful of those in. And maybe, just a few more. All right, back in the freezer. You could now drizzle that salad with olive oil and call it done, which is what I have done in the past. But when I did that, I was serving it to my friend, Chef Pat, that he thought it would be really good with some feta cheese in it. And because one of the things that goes really well with the oven-roasted chicken shawarma that I'm doing for this whole dinner business is feta cheese, I figure I might as well put some into the salad. So I have some feta in brine here, which I also got at Trader Joe's. I would say this is maybe half an inch tall by 2 inches across in one direction and maybe 3 inches in the other direction. I should have waited so I could tell you more accurately, but it's silly because nothing else in the recipe here has been measured. So that's what I'm using. I'm just crumbling it up on the top of the salad, and then I'm going to stir the whole business together. The cucumbers are losing their juice, partly because of the lemon and partly because of the salt. And that is what makes this sort of its own little dressing. It's like a vinaigrette, only I guess it's a lemonaigrette. Now you're going to take your olive oil, a good olive oil, and drizzle that over the top. And I don't have a way to tell you how much, but I can tell you until it seems right, looks right, tastes right. I am using a really nice olive oil that I like. I have some Costco Kirkland olive oil. That is no longer something that I'm that crazy about. It's fine. But I have seen a couple of articles now where cooks are comparing flavors of olive oil, and I have landed on a couple that I really like. One here is called Sizzle Extra Virgin Olive Oil. It's from a company called Graza, and my favorite thing about this is it's in a bottle, and so you just squirt it. You turn it upside down and you just squirt it. I love that. It feels like, I don't know, it feels professional. It's kind of crazy. And then I have this other one that I like a lot called Bertolli Extra Virgin Olive Oil with a rich taste. There's taste intensity down here. There's a picture with 5 little olives, and 4 of them are filled in. And I think this is my current favorite olive oil. So I'm going to use that. And you just drizzle that over the top and stir it up. You can always add more later if it seems like not enough. But your salad is now ready. That was so quick and so easy and had so few ingredients that I think you may come back to this recipe quite often. It'll go with almost anything. Pork, fish, Greek things, chicken, obviously, steak, almost anything. And I suppose if you put some nuts or something in it, you could even eat it as a main dish. I haven't done that, but I don't see why it wouldn't be delicious. So now, if you are having this with something other than the chicken shawarma that we're doing as a whole meal tonight, it is ready to go, ready to be served. You can put it right on the table, or you can stick it in the fridge till it's time. If you are serving this with the oven roasted chicken shawarma that is part of this full meal that we're preparing today, you want to start this salad probably when you put the chicken in the oven. Hummus is made in advance. Chicken goes in the oven. You make the salad, and then you roll out the naan and get that on your grill so that everything comes together at about the same time. That's all for this particular recipe as it is all by itself. So I hope you enjoy this with whatever you're serving it with. If you are coming along for the full chicken shawarma dinner, I will see you back at that recipe when it's time to put it in the oven. Thank you for listening and happy cooking.